Welcome to the second REDCap video for the repeat trial, focusing on data entry. Once you have successfully logged into the REDCap instance for the University of Oxford and selected the repeat database, you can start adding on new participants. For this, simply click on the red link Add Edit Records under the Data Collection section on the left-hand pane. Click inside the field Enter a new or existing record ID and carefully type in the assigned trial number for the participant. It is crucial that the record ID or trial number or again participant ID you enter is exactly the same as the one assigned, as you won't be able to modify it once created. It should always follow this format: RE-S-NNN, where RE stands for repeat, S is the site letter, the identifier, and NNN is the subject number. Now, from trial-specific procedures and documentation, you will know what the site letter is for your site. For example, A is for Oxford, B for Bristol, and N for Norwich. That letter will stay the same for all participants recruited at that same site. The subject number starts with 001 and increases by 1, for example 002, 003 and so on, for each new participant recruitment at a given site. In this fictitious example, we are based at the Oxford site, so that will be A, and we are recruiting our 50th patient. Hit Enter. You're now presented with the record homepage, where your new record ID is indicated, here and here. You see a matrix of data collection instruments and events, also called the data matrix. In this case, we have 9 data collection instruments, also called case report forms, CRFs or forms in short, across 6 events. If you can't see them all displayed at once, scroll up or down, left or right from within the REDCap page, or reduce the zoom level in your browser settings. The instruments as row labels and the events as column labels have been arranged in a logical order. The round circles on the screen are helpful to indicate which event a data collection instrument belongs to. Some forms, for example the EQ5D5L, appear in more than one event. Here, the information is collected at 4 time points: the baseline, day 7, day 30, and 3 months. You will need to enter all of them as the data becomes available to you. Similarly, some events, for example baseline or day 7, contain more than one data collection instrument. You will need to enter all of them as the data becomes available to you. To start entering data into a form for a specific event, just click on the relevant circle in the data matrix. The most important point in data entry is to methodically work through the form, entering data where you can. There are a few things to point out. Some questions are mandatory, and these ones have been labeled with must provide value in red. For these, if you do not enter a value, you will get a pop-up warning when you save the form. Although you can override this warning if the data is genuinely unavailable, it is best to avoid doing this if you can. You will see the patient's trial number, record ID, displayed at the top. This will appear on every form and is now no longer able to be edited. Dates need to be entered in the format dd-mm-yyyy. It is easiest to click on the calendar symbol to the right of the box and select your date from there. Or, if you're entering today's date, just click on the box labeled today. For drop-down fields, simply click on the down arrow and select your option from the list displayed. In this case, we are operating at the Oxford site, so we'll select Oxford University Hospital. It is very important to select the right site that corresponds to your site number, as REDCap won't be cross-checking this. Next, we have a simple text box for which we'll provide the participants' initials. Next, we have a similar field for which we cannot put any text. Now for single select options in the form of radio buttons, just select the option that applies. And same thing for yes and no buttons. To deselect a previous choice on radio buttons, just click Reset. This will clear out what you have entered, allowing for entries in error where another choice cannot be selected instead. When presented with multiple choice options, select as many as apply from the tick boxes. You will notice that some fields appear only if certain data is entered or selected. This is completely normal and has been designed to reduce burden on staff and enhance their data entry experience while improving data quality. This is called conditional logic and often applies when values such as other, please specify have been selected. In this case, we've selected several drainage procedures that apply to the patient, and the corresponding date field has appeared. If a value is entered or selected in the field that became visible, the conditional field, but the original value is modified, a pop-up may appear asking you if you'd like to hide and erase the current value in the name field. Let's untick therapeutic aspiration and see what happens. We are presented with a pop-up asking if we want to erase the current value of the field RE_BA_effusion_third date. In most cases, as now, it is fine to click OK, which will hide the conditional field and make its value in the system blank. Indeed, we would not expect to keep seeing the corresponding date after unticking therapeutic aspiration. Now, if you would like to ascertain the exact field referred to from the name used by REDCap in alerts, pop-up messages, etc., you should find the data dictionary useful. To access this feature, simply click on Codebook under Project Home on the left-hand side of any page. Here we find the correspondence between field name and label, and even some field characteristics listed by form, instrument, and in the order they appear in the form. To illustrate how to upload a file, let's go to another question and select Pre-Procedure on the chest radiograph uploads. Two new questions appear, the pre-procedure chest X-ray date and the uploaded image. Let's click on Upload File. This opens a pop-up window where you can choose the file to upload from your current device. There should not be a restriction on the file type, however, the maximum file size is 32 MB. Here we have the file we want. And click on Upload File. It is now listed here. We can upload a new version in the same way, or remove the file. And we get another pop-up. Now many fields, such as blood tests or pleural fluid results, give the possibility of entering a missing value code by clicking on the uncircled M next to it. Here is such an example. Let's navigate to another form, the blood test results form, to demonstrate this. Rather than clicking on the record status dashboard, which will display all the participants' records entered so far, or add or edit a new record, we'll click on the record ID that we have created. Let's leave without saving changes. And we are presented with the same view. Let's select blood results, and here we see the M mark field as missing. When clicking on it, we are presented with three options: clearing the value or marking the field as not done, ND, or not applicable, NA. Clear value simply erases any existing value and exits the missing value contextual menu. This is how the field looks like after selecting not done. Even if this field is set up to only receive decimal numbers, in this case the value ND gets displayed with the mention not done, ND, underneath, and the M on the missing value button is now blue. If you later receive the corresponding results, you can always click on Clear Value, which resets the field, and enter the relevant number. When you have finished entering your data, you will need to save and exit the form. At the bottom of the screen, you will see a form status section showing as incomplete by default in answer to the question complete. If you're confident that you've entered all that you can, click the drop-down box next to it and select Complete. If you feel you need to come back later with more data or need to double-check an entry, then leave it as incomplete. Then save by clicking your choice of Save and Exit Form, Save and Stay, and with the drop-down arrow we can access more options, Save and Exit Record or Save and Go to Next Record. Alternatively, select Cancel to back out from the form without saving your work. After clicking Yes on the pop-up message, we get another visual cue that the record's data entry was cancelled and not saved. Now there are two ways to navigate to an existing record for editing. Go to the data collection area on the left-hand pane, where you will see these two options: Record Status Dashboards and Add Edit Records. For the first method, click on the red Add Edit Records link, as you did before when adding a new record. In the field Choose an existing record ID, click the drop-down arrow and select your record. Double-check that you have selected the correct trial number. This will take you to the record homepage, where you can see the status of all the data collection instruments for that patient. You can also type in the patient's trial number in the field just below it and hit Enter. Now you can select the data collection instrument you wish to edit by clicking the relevant circle as before. Notice that the circles have different colors according to their status. The legend is always displayed at the top. The aim is to get all your data collection instruments or forms marked as complete in green. Not all forms will be completed for all patients, for example the one for discontinuation, withdrawal. The other way of editing an existing form is by clicking on Record Status Dashboard. This displays all participants entered in the database so far, with the completion status of all their CRF across all events. As above, you can just click on a circle to edit a data collection instrument, and the status of the instrument is displayed in the same way. The forms are grouped by the event they occur in, and if one instrument appears in more than one event, for example EQ5D5L, it will appear in each event as it was designed to. Thank you for your attention, and see you in the next video on data validation.